Look around you. Look at the skyline, the parks, the streets. Do you remember what they used to be? They were symbols of progress, places people dreamed of moving to. They were the beating hearts of our countries. But today, those same cities are becoming places we don't even recognize. It's no longer a question of if our cities will collapse. The real question is, how fast? This isn't some accident. It's a death by 1,000 cuts, and it seems to be happening by design. So what turns a great city into a slum? It isn't just about being poor. A slum is a place where the basic rules of society have just stopped working, where laws are ignored, where public spaces are surrendered, and where human misery is left out in the open for everyone to see. To understand how we got here, we have to look at 3 things that have failed: crime, homelessness, and sanitation. Let's start with the most basic promise a government makes to its people: safety. The idea that you can walk down the street, run your business, and live in your home without being afraid. In many of our biggest cities, that promise is now broken. You've seen the videos. Mobs of people running into a store, grabbing whatever they want, and just walking out. This isn't just shoplifting. This is lawlessness. And it's the direct result of a policy change. In cities like San Francisco, LA, and New York, prosecutors have decided to stop prosecuting so-called low-level crimes. Things like theft, trespassing, public intoxication. The argument was that going after these small crimes wasn't fair, and it filled up the jails. The intention might have sounded good, but the result has been a complete disaster. When you make theft under a certain amount, like $950, basically legal, you send a message to criminals. The message is, go ahead, the risk is gone. And so the small businesses that make a neighborhood feel alive, they're being destroyed. They can't afford the constant theft. They can't afford the insurance. So they just close down. And every time a store closes, a piece of the city dies with it. The streets get emptier, darker, more dangerous. The idea that actions have consequences has been abandoned, and we are all living with the results. Walk through downtown Portland or Seattle or Los Angeles. What you'll see is a humanitarian crisis hiding in plain sight. This isn't the kind of homelessness we saw a few decades ago. These are massive, sprawling tent cities. And this crisis is directly tied to 2 other things: severe mental illness and powerful drug addiction, especially to fentanyl. For years, the main solution we've tried is something called housing first. The idea is simple: give a homeless person a place to live, and then worry about their other problems later. Billions and billions of dollars have been spent on this, but the problem is only getting worse. Why? Because housing first has turned into housing only. There are often no rules, no requirements for getting sober, no mandatory mental health treatment. This isn't real compassion. It's enabling the worst possible behavior. True compassion would be to demand better for them and for the community. It would mean building clean, safe shelters where drug use is not allowed. It would mean investing in real treatment programs that work. Instead, we've surrendered our public spaces. Our parks, our libraries, our buses and trains are no longer for everyone. They've been given over to chaos, making them unsafe and unusable for the average person. And that's a failure for everyone involved. If crime is the disease, then the filth on our streets is the most obvious symptom. It comes down to this. If a city can't even keep its streets clean, that's a city that has given up. In San Francisco, a city famous for its beauty, guess what the most common complaint is on the city's 311 app? Human waste on the sidewalks. Just think about that for a second. Basic sanitation, something we figured out centuries ago, is now too difficult for a modern American city to handle. Sanitation departments are overwhelmed. Public transit systems feel more like dirty, dangerous shelters than a way to get to work. And this is where the cycle gets locked in. The decay becomes so obvious that the city's economy starts to die. Tourists stop visiting, businesses leave, and anyone who can afford to move out does. They call this the urban doom loop. When businesses leave, the city loses tax money. When there's less tax money, there's less funding for police, for sanitation, for social services. And when those services are cut, the problems of crime, homelessness, and filth just get worse and worse. So, here we are, living in cities that spend a fortune only to see more misery on the streets. Living in cities that have laws, but leaders who refuse to enforce them. Living in cities where the rights of the average, law-abiding citizen now come second. This didn't happen by accident. It happened because of choices. Choices to tolerate chaos. Choices to abandon order. Choices to redefine compassion as just letting people destroy themselves in public. Our great cities were built on an agreement. We all agreed to follow a set of rules, and in exchange, we get a safe, clean, and functional place to live. That agreement has been broken. The future isn't written in stone, but the path we are on right now leads to one place: ruin. The only question left is who is going to be brave enough to change course before there's nothing left to save. Now, the story is a little different everywhere, but the basic problems are often the same. I want to hear from you. What are you seeing in your city? Are things getting better, or are they getting worse? Let me know down in the comments. And if you think these conversations are important, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're going to keep digging into the issues that matter. Thanks for watching.